Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. We are starting with question number 5 of exercise 4B, Indices. Let's start with it. So the first part says evaluate each of the following without the use of a calculator, and it's written root 196. Now this root means it's a square root, right? So if I am writing root 196, that means I need to find the square root of it. So for this I will be taking out the LCM of 196. Okay, so 2 multiplied by 9 is 18, and 2 8 is 16, 2 4 is 8, 2 9 is 18, 7 is 49, and 7 ones are 7. Now here I am having 2 2s and 2 7s. This means 7 multiplied by 2 is 14, right? And 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. This means if I do 14 multiplied by 14, I get my answer what? 196. So my final answer is going to be the root of 196 is 14. Moving on to the next part. The part B, it says cube root of 125. Now cube root means which numbers do I multiply 3 times to get 125. We all know that the answer is 5, right? But let's check it through the LCM method as well. So 5 multiplied by 2 is 10, right? And 5 multiplied by 5 is 25, right? Now 5 multiplied by 5 is 25, and 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. So here I have got 3 times 5. So that's why 5 cube, and the final answer is going to be 5. Moving on. Now if a question is written like this, and it's written 1 upon 32, and outside the power is 5, this means I need to do the root of 1 as well as 32, right? So I know that root of 1 is 1. Either it's a cube root, either it's a root of 5, or anything. So let's put the root here, 5 and root of 5, 32. Separately I am writing both of them. Now let's find the root of 32. 2 multiplied by 1, 2 multiplied by 6, 2 multiplied by 8, 2 multiplied by 4, 2 multiplied by 2, and 2 multiplied by 1. So this means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 times 5 is root of 32. So now my answer is going to be 1 upon 2. Okay. Moving on. For your part D, it says the root of 4, 16 and 81. This means this root of 4 is on 16 as well as 81, right? So I'm showing one example over here for 81. Let's start with 3. 3 2s are 6, right? 3 7s are 21, 3 9s are 27, 3 3s are 9, and 3 1s are 3. This means 3 times 4, 4 times 3 is your 81, right? And we all know that if I do 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, that is 16. Agreed? You can check it through the LCM method as well. So what do I get as my final answer? The final answer is 2 upon 3. Moving on further. Now let's start with question number 6. The question 6 says, rewrite each of the following in the radical form, hence evaluate the result without the use of a calculator. Okay, radical form means that you need to write that in a root form. Now for example, if it's written 81 raised to the power half. 81 raised to the power half means the root of 81. Okay, this means a square root, and this square root can be written as 81 raised to the power half as well. Now what if I say I have put a cube root outside, and if it's 8 written, so this means 8 raised to the power 1 upon 3. Now if it's written 4 outside and over here it's written 16, this means on 16 it's a power of 1 upon 4. This outside power, it becomes your denominator, okay, and it's written as 1 upon. Now for example, if it's written 5 and a 32, so that means 32 raised to the power 1 upon 5. This entire side, I'm making a column now. This entire side is your radical form, and this side is your index form. Okay, so let's start with the question. The first part says 81 raised to the power half. How can I write that in a radical form? Root of 81. What is the root of 81? 9 square, right? So 9 square and a root of 81. The square is going to be cancelled with the root. What do I get as my answer? 9, right? Moving on to part B. Now it says minus 27 raised to the power 1 upon 3. 1 upon 3 means a cube root. So 3 outside and minus 27 inside. I know that minus 3 cube is what? 27. So I will write minus 3 cube over here. Cube root outside, the 3's are going to be cancelled. Of the power and the cube root, I get my final answer minus 3. For part C, it says 16 raised to the power minus 1 upon 4. Now, we have studied this previously as well, that if it's written minus 1 upon 4, so I need to convert that power into a positive power, right? So what I will do is, I will put it 1 upon 16 raised to the power 1 upon 4. Now, I will put that in the root form and put 4 over here. So, we discussed it previously in the question as well, that 2 raised to the power 4 is 16, right? You can solve that with the LCM method as well. Cancel the 4 and the 4. What do you get as your answer? 1 upon 2. Starting with part D now. The part D, it says 4 raised to the power 1.5. Okay. Now as this 1.5, it is in a decimal form, right? So I need that in a fraction form right now to solve my question further. So what we are going to do here is, I know that if I'm writing 1.5, how could that be written in a fraction form? By multiplying this 1.5 with a 10 first. Agreed? And if I'm multiplying the numerator with 10, if there is nothing, it's a 1, right? So multiply by 10 here as well. Now 15 upon 10. If I simplify that further, 5 multiplied by 3 is 15 and 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. So I can write 1.5 as 3 upon 2 also. Agreed? Now, how can I write this in a power form? Putting a root here, this, it becomes your denominator, and your numerator, it becomes an outside power. Okay? Now, the root of 4, the square root of 4 is what? 2. Agreed? And if I do the cube of that, I get my answer 8. So 8 is going to be your final answer. Moving on further, it says 8 raised to the power minus 5 upon 3. Okay? Now, for your minus 5 upon 3, how can I write that? 1 upon 8, 5 upon 3, right? Now, once I have written it like this, I will put that in your root form. 8 here, 3 outside and 5 outside the bracket. Agreed? Now, what is going to be the cube root of your 8? It's going to be a 2. Now 2, you have to do the power to 5. What do I get? 1 upon 32. Okay. Moving on to part F. Your part F, it says minus 1000 raised to the power 2 upon 3. Okay. Now if I'm having minus 1000 raised to the power 2 upon 3, I don't have to convert this because the power is already positive. So let's write it down. 3 outside because it's going to be your denominator, and minus 1000 inside. Other than that, put that to outside. Okay. Now the cube root of minus 1000, it's going to be a minus 10, right? Because minus 10 multiplied by minus 10 multiplied by minus 10 makes a minus 1000. So what am I going to do here is, I will put my answer minus 10 and then do the square of that. What do I get as my final answer? 100. Okay. Okay. Let's start with question number 7. The question 7 says, I need to write this in an index form. Now I told you, if 4 is written outside, this means it's a raised to the power 1 upon 4. So the same way we are going to write all the answers in the index form, which means the power form, right? So let's start with the B part now. It says cube root is there and a b square. B square inside, cube is outside. Let's do it like this. I know that this is a cube root, so I can write it b raised to the power 1 upon 3. Agreed? And then it was a 2 as well, so multiply it with a 2. What do I get? B raised to the power 2 upon 3. Or you can write it directly as b raised to the power 2 upon 3. Part C, I am having 5 here, C here, and 4 outside, so that becomes c raised to the power 1 upon 5. It will be multiplied by 4. What do I get? C raised to the power 4 upon 5. Okay. For your part D, it says 1 upon 6 outside, D here, so that becomes 1 upon D raised to the power 1 upon 6. Agreed? When I take that upwards, what do I get? D raised to the power minus 1 upon 6. Okay. Part E, 1 upon E raised to the power 4 and an 8. Okay. That means 1 upon E 4 upon 8. Okay. When I take that upwards, what do I get? E raised to the power minus 4 upon 8. If you want to reduce it further, E raised to the power minus 1 upon 2. Okay. Now for your part F, it says 1 upon cube root of F, 5 outside, so that becomes 1 upon 5 and 5 upon 3. 1 upon F raised to the power 5 upon 3. If I take that upwards, it becomes 5 F raised to the power minus 5 upon 3. Okay. Or suppose you are having a question 2 raised to the power A is equals to 8 raised to the power 8 raised to the power nothing. Okay. So what I will do is, this is your base, right? 2 raised to the power A. Now here also I have to make it on the base of 2. So I know that 2 cube is your 8. Okay. So these two, when the bases are same, I can put this numerator as my final answer. So A is equals to 3. Fine. Let's do another example. For suppose you are having a question like this. 4 raised to the power 2A is equals to 64. Okay. Now 4 raised to the power 2A is there, and I need to put this 64 also to the base of 4. So 4 raised to the power 3 was 64, right? Now as 4 and 4 are there as a base, I can simply put this power as my answer. So 2a is equals to 3, and a is equals to 3 upon 2. So these bases, they come with your equals to sign as a normal number of yours. Now let's solve the questions further. The question number 8 says 11a is equals to 1331. Now I know that it's going to come as a power of your 11, right? So what I can do easily is 1331. Let's take out the LCM of that. 11 multiplied by which number is 1331? 11 multiplied by 11. 11 multiplied by 121 is 1331. Now 11 multiplied by 11 is 121, and 11 multiplied by 1 is 11. This means 3 times of your 11. So 11a is equals to 11 cube is 1331. Now as the bases are same, I can simply put my answer like this. A is equals to 3. Okay. Let's do part B of this. Okay, so the question says 2b raised to the is equals to 1 upon 128. Okay, so 2 raised to the power b is equals to 1 upon, I don't know to which power is 128. So let's take out the LCM first. 128 was there, starting with 2. 2 6 is 12, 2 4 is 8, 2 3 is 6, 2 2 is 4, 2 1 is 2, 2 6 is 12, 2 8 is 16, 2 4 is 8, 2 2 is 4, 2 1 is 1. Now how many 2's am I getting? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So I will be writing it down 2 raised to the power 7. Okay. Now, as the bases are same, I can simply put the powers as my final answer. B is equals to 7. Moving on further. I am having my part C. It's 9 raised to the power C is equals to 243. Okay, now I need to make the bases same first. This shall be on the power of 9. So 9C is equals to 243, taking out the LCM of that. 3 8 is 24, 3 1 is 3, right? 3 2 is 6, 3 7 is 21, 3 9 is 27, 3 3 is 9, and 3 1 is 3. Okay, so what am I getting? 1 2 3 4 5. It's coming to the power of 3 right now, right? And what am I going to do in this case then? I can write it as 3 raised to the power 5. Okay, so if I've written 3 raised to the power 5, that means 243. This means I need to put this side also as 3 power, right? So that becomes 3 raised to the power 2c. How do you get 2c? Because I know that 3 square is your 9. So I wrote that in place of my 9 first. 3 square, and then 2 is going to be multiplied with the c. Now 2c is equals to 5, and c is equals to 5 upon 2 as your answer. Okay. Moving on to your part D. It is 10 raised to the power d. This is the most technical question. Now here 10 raised to the power d is there, but I need to know how do I get a 0.01 and how can I put this to a base of 10 to make the answer exact and correct. So what am I going to do in this case is, if I put 1 upon 100 in place of 0.01, does that means the same? Yes, of course, because 1 divided by 100 is 0.01. Now 10d, put that as it is equals to 1 upon this 100. Can I write it as 10 square? Yes, I can, of course. Now 10d is equals to, if I take something upwards, that becomes a negative power. Do you all agree? Yes, of course. So the bases are same. Now the power comes as an answer. D is equals to minus 2. Okay. Well, I think that it's clear to you all now. So we will be continuing this in the next video, inshallah. So best of luck. Hope to see you all in the next video also. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe my channel and press the bell icon if you like it.